Alright folks, this is going to be the long-awaited video, continuing the Tier 10 tank classes. Are they worth it? And if so, what for? This one's going to be about tank destroyers. We are going to look at all of the tank destroyers that are currently available in World of Tanks, as far as what you as a player can go out and get right now. So we're going to exclude the 183 and tanks like that. So, first we're going to look at the T110E3, which is the American Tier 10 non-turreted tank destroyer. As a whole, I think it's pretty good. The frontal armor is quite strong. The gun mallet is basically impenetrable outside of Yak Panzer E100 heat, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. The cupola up here is very, very strong. Substantially stronger than the E4, which again we'll talk about when we get there. As far as from the front, what do you have to worry about? Very much the lower plate here. This around here, and basically if someone's firing heat at you, let's say a 5A or a 277, your whole lower plate is susceptible to be penned. But for the most part, the cheeks are safe on left and right, the gun mallet's safe, and the cupola on top is safe. The side armor is pretty poor as far as being like a high explosive resistant. You can get penned in the engine deck here by EBRs, for example, which is quite common if you let them get around you. That said, you'll notice my loadout here is I completely omit AP. The deal is with premium time, you can afford to not carry any AP, fire only APCR and HE, and still make a profit and not bankrupt yourself. With 750 alpha and what is this, 375 pen, 375 pen on its APCR, even a 279 is gonna kind of cringe if he drives in front of an E3 firing APCR. It's just brutal. I love the E3. It was one of the more fun 3 marks for the American tech tree. With 750 alpha, 375 pen, 2 seconds aim time, 0.32 dispersion. It's kind of a monster. The reload on mine is 13.45, which for 750 alpha is punishing. Even a chieftain is going to have issues against an E3 because you have such powerful high explosive rounds with 90 millimeters of pen and 1100 alpha damage. A chieftain's going to leave the position he's in if you're there. So as a whole, the E3 does see use in Clan Wars, particularly on Ensk and Himmelsdorf and those more brawl-heavy, holding a window or a lane strategies. And as far as in random battles, the E3 very much holds its own. The biggest issue you're going to have is artillery and high explosive. But other than that, provided you don't share your lower plate, there's not much you're going to get penned on the E3. I love it. I definitely think it's worth getting. Now we'll get the E4. The E4 is a tank that is loved by some, myself, and hated by others. I'm sure you can figure out who. The E4 is again that 15 APCR 12 HE. You can unironically load only HE and 3 mark this tank. That is a legitimate thing people have done. I've had 5,000-6,000 damage games, or 5 to 6,000 damage, using HE only. You full pen people like it's nobody's business. The shell velocity isn't bad. At 90 millimeters of pen, the same deal. You have the exact same gun as the E3, except with slightly worse aim time and slightly worse dispersion. But as far as the alpha, the pen, that kind of stuff, it's rather derpy. Kind of gets to be the vibe for it. For me, this tank rarely lets me down. This is one of my go-to for fun tanks in World of Tanks. As far as in Clan Wars, again, you will see this in Clan Wars as far as against, you can use it to fight the chieftains, you can use it to fight VKKs, V4s, that whole 279s, that whole set of tanks. This is a great counter to it because that gun is so overwhelmingly powerful, and it's on a semi-flexible platform. As opposed to the E3, you do get a turret that rotates halfway to the left, halfway to the right. So 90 degrees to the left and right. You have only 6 degrees of gun depression. Excuse me, 6 degrees of gun depression as opposed to, what, 8 on the E3? That said, the reload's slightly longer on this as well compared to the E3, but you trade that just for the flexible turret and the mega APCR. I love this tank. It's one of my go-tos for random games, and it does see use in Clan Wars. Next up is the Grill. I hate this tank. I hate it. The biggest issue for the Grill is 0.24 dispersion and 1.3 seconds aim time does not feel like that. I never feel like the gun lives up to the statistics that it provides. This is another 750 alpha, 279 base pen on the AP with a relatively good shell velocity, at least in my experience. There's nothing about this that should be bad. There's nothing about it that should be bad, but I personally don't like it. You only have 50 degrees of gun traverse on the left and right, so not even 90 on the E4 to the left and right. You have no armor to speak of. If you see a 4K5, if you see anything with HE, you're going to get penned. The only saving grace you have is the size of the tracks, and the gun is just fucking massive. But aside from that, you're not going to have much in the way of, any armor to speak of. 16-second reload with 750 alpha is not bad. The 0.24 dispersion's, again, not bad. It's amazing. With a 1.35 or 1.35 aim time. The reason these stats are kind of a lie is because the bloom on the gun. So when you turn the gun, to the left, to the right, what tends to happen is the reticle blooms quite substantially. So every time you move the turret even a little bit, you're gonna have to use that aim time again, and it just feels like it takes forever because you're constantly aiming. Even just slowly tracking a target, the crosshair will bloom quite substantially. It just does not feel very comfortable. As far as in random battles, you do see it a fair bit. It's more flexible as opposed to the Yak Panzer E100, which we will discuss shortly. In Clan Wars, from my experience, I have not seen it much. It just doesn't provide anything particularly valuable. With a camera rating of 19, that's not... I mean, the E4 or E3 has 17. Like, it's just... What's the point? I would not get this as a Clan Wars vehicle, but for missions, for the 279, the 260, the 55A, and all that, it's a nice addition to the roster in your garage for that. Next up is the Yak Panzer E100. This is kind of the first big damage boy. Base pen with AP is just shy of 300 millimeters of pen with 1050 alpha. So over 1,000 alpha on the AP. However, where this really shines is you get heat ammo with 420 millimeters of pen. That is absurd. That is the kind of pen we're talking. You can go through the gun mallet on the E3. You can go through the cupola on the E3. You can go through the cheeks occasionally on the E3. That's the kind of pen where it's sort of, pack up and go home. If you see a Yak Panzer 100 firing heat, this is the flank killer, right? If he's at distance and able to just kind of plink away at you, it's rare you're going to bounce. If anything, the only reason you will bounce a hit from him is because the gun didn't particularly behave. If the rounds are hitting where the Yak Panzer's aiming, you're fucked, kiddo. With 420 pen, that doesn't screw around. You're gonna be in trouble. That said, you trade that alpha and that pen for a very large tank, a very slow tank, and in the context of World of Tanks in 2019, a poorly armored tank. Now, you're going to be relatively safe from high explosive, aside from the folks that are shooting under the tank, on the engine deck, the back two wheels and all that. You'll still take 200-300 damage a shot, but you're not going to be getting penned by high explosive, outside of the special Hesh ammo the 4K5 gets, but we'll discuss that when we get there. So you have not a bad aim time and not bad dispersion, to be honest, as far as having this big of a gun. 0.31 and 2.16 aim time on the crew I have, which is not very good along with food. Works out to be quite workable. It's not bad. It does not bloom as much as the grill. I can tell you that for sure. With a 20-second reload time, though, it leaves you somewhat inflexible. If you're getting pushed, you're putting the one shot out, and that's it. At tier 10, you're generally going to get torn apart before you get a second round out, provided you're getting, close quarters pushed. This thrives when you keep the enemy in front of you. That is your saving grace. As far as the armor, you have 200 millimeters of frontal hull armor, so basically this up here, along with this. It's quite thick. However, the problem you'll have is this is an auto bounce. Right here, this upper plate's an auto bounce. This is an easy pen even for tier 8s if they have the front of you. And then the real killer is you cannot go hull down to protect, this lower plate. Because if they're firing heat, this whole bit here is easy pen. This whole bit here is easy pen. Even the cupola, the machine gun port up at the back here, is easy pen. But why even shoot at that when you have quite high penetration heat that goes through this, even APCR, high pen APCR, like we're talking 300 plus, will go through this cheek next to the massive gun mantlet quite reliably. So the armor isn't necessarily something to rely on, but it's a nice thing to have. Because you will get some bounces, it's just not something that you could say, oh, it's okay, I'm hull down, he won't pen me. You probably will get penned. It just gives you a little bit of extra sort of breathing room. Next up, we have kind of the antithesis of the Yak Panzer 100, the Object 268 version 4. And now, keep in mind, I also am missing 3 tank destroyers, which we will discuss once we're done with what I do have in my garage. The V4, for those that have been playing tanks for about a year, will remember this being the bane of most players' existence at tier 10. I actually quit the game. I stopped playing World of Tanks for about 4 months because of the V4. It was introduced to the game substantially overbuffed, and it took 6 months to nerf it, if I remember right. It was at least 6 months. It got to the point where in Clan Wars... Oh, I forgot to mention, by the way. The Yak Panzer, you'll see in Clan Wars very rarely. It's not something you pick up and then go to a clan and be like, yo, I got a Clan Wars worthy tank, the Yak Panzer. It's not like that. For randoms, it's fun, but not much more than that. And in Clan Wars, rarely. It's not viable. It's not. Anyway, for the V4. There was a time in Clan Wars where you would see more V4s than you would heavy tanks. This was your push, this was your scout, this was your medium killer. It was... You couldn't beat it. It was basically, at this point, whoever sniped Copola's better against each other's V4. It's a... Man, I feel like I'm having an aneurysm just thinking back to those days. It was some of the least fun I've ever had in World of Tanks fighting the V4. The gun handling used to be substantially better. The armor actually, unironically, used to be better. I think the speed, but don't quote me on that. As far as nowadays, it's still stupid good. The gun gets, 350 pen on the heat? 360 heat pen. I mean, again, we're talking penning the cupola on the E3, which is not an easy thing to do. Even with 360 heat pen, you're going to be a little you got to be lucky to pen. But this does have the capability for that. As far as the weak points on the armor, you have the cupola up here. This whole, basically, bar outside of, this and this, is a pretty easy pen. The lower plate, not the lower plate. You think this? No, dude. This is just extra thick armor. The lower plate's actually this bar down here. That's it. This bar right here, that's the lower plate. This, you're not going to pen. It's pretty silly. If you're firing heat from like a 5A or a 277, you can actually pen this bit up here. This basically like riveted on plate right here. You could pen that semi-reliably. It's a little tough. Unlike the Yak Panzer, the cheeks here on the left and right of the gun, shit ain't happening, chief. You're not gonna pen that. It's not a reliable pen by any capacity. You have stupid good frontal armor. Side armor is amazing. Even this is actually quite good as well. It's just this bit here is a jokingly easy pen. Along with this here. It's hilariously easy to pen it. With high explosive. Even lower pen high explosive. This bit here, and the rear are quite easy to pen. But this and this, it's just no chance. Not even Yak Panzer firing heat's going to pen this or this at this angle. You'll pen, obviously, the upper lower plate and up here. But it's a toss-up between this and this. As a whole, you have 650 alpha with 300 pen. I realize I'm saying that a lot. Excuse me. With a 13.45 second reload. It's fast as shit, too. This tank goes 50 kilometers an hour forward. Yeah, 50. With this much armor. 50. Along with 18 in reverse. It used to have a faster reverse speed. That I know for sure. Which gave it so much more flexibility. With 2000 HP, 260 frontal armor, which is, augmented by the angles for sort of this angle down, this angle up, this angle to the side and up. Like, it's brutal. 2.2 seconds aim time with 0.37 accuracy. It's Russian. Accuracy doesn't mean shit. This number's a lie. Doesn't fucking matter. It does not matter. TLDR, very good. Still gets used in Clan Wars. It's still very good in pub battles as well. Just not what it used to be. What it used to be was breaking the game. Next up is the Badger. The Badger is the replacement for the FV215B183. It comes after the Tortoise for the British, the first of 2 tank destroyers you're going to see here. We will go back and talk about the regular 268 once this is over. So, the Badger, what is this tank? What is it good at? DPM. That's it. DPM. You have pretty good upper plate armor. The lower plate is easy pen even for tier 8s. The cheek here and the cheek here are quite easy if you're firing heat, high pen heat, like 340 plus. You shouldn't have much issue. And on top of that, this here, this sort of, trapezoid here? No, this isn't a trapezoid. This is I don't know. But anyway, diamond? No, obviously not a diamond. Fuck, what's the name for this? Never mind, this isn't a stream, this is a YouTube video. This is an easy pen here, and this is an easy pen here if you angle. So sort of like this, they can pen this and pen that. Just something to be wary of. I did not even know that was a thing until relatively recently. However, we're getting off track. You have 480 alpha with 272 millimeters of pen in the base ammo, 0.26 accuracy, 1.36 seconds aim time, with 4,283 DPM. Almost 4,300. I think this is the highest DPM in World of Tanks when firing AP, outside of firing HE. Even if you loaded HE, I think the DPM would go substantially. That said, it's slow as shit. The armor is not foolproof. The gun is the same as the grill in the sense it's accurate, but once you turn the gun to track a target, the bloom is there for sure. And it's very noticeable. You have 355 millimeters of hull armor, which is augmented. So, like, basically, by being angled, this here, all this around here, this here, this here, this here, this. It's a difficult pen. This is a difficult pen. But when it gets flat, and you can see the angle is substantially less when you're shooting the front of, sort of on the middle viewport on both of these things. But, like, that, like, lane. The side armor's trash, 101, not great, and the rear armor's a joke, 38 millimeters. This gets HE penned. You can get penned by Artie. Honestly, it's that bad. If they hit you particularly well, like up here, if you're poorly angled. Does it get used in Clan Wars? No. No, not at all. For randoms, it's pretty okay. Last night on the stream, so 11/23/2019, I had like an 8k damage game on Westfield. When it works, it undeniably works. That DPM chews through anything you're fighting. Anything. We'll try and keep this TLDR written into a long video now. Alright, the FE4005 Stage 2. Meme tank. Do you use it in Clan Wars? No. In randoms, I use it every day on stream just because it's kind of a meme. The whole selling point of this is Hesh. You have 230 millimeters of pen for 1,750 average damage. That's insane. They nerfed the reverse speed and the gun handling on this recently. You have 10 degrees of gun oppression, 310 pen on the AP, but why fire AP when you have Hesh? 23, almost 24 second reload with the crew that I have. The armor's absolutely crap. This whole thing's about the gun. It's a 183 millimeter gun. You're gonna bully whatever you come across with HE. You can miss and do 500 damage. It's a joke. As far as anything else, Clan Wars, random battles, is it good? No. Is it fun? Sometimes. That's about it. Long aim time, long gun head, or long or poor dispersion. Sorry. It's not good. Fun? Sometimes. Good? Absolutely not. This replaced, or no, this was added alongside the 183, but the 183 is currently unavailable. Next up, you have the Sturv 103B, the Swedish Tier 10. It is amazing. In my opinion, one of the best tank destroyers in World of Tanks. Base pen, 308. 390 alpha, 5.5 second reload. Yeah, 5.5 second reload. With a camo rating, with my setup, of 66. 66% camo. That's insane. You can hide in a bush. You can chunk out the HP of a mouse before he spots you if he's like 300 meters out. This tank is comical how good it is at just dealing damage. You have the second highest DPM here on mine of 4,225. That's just below the Badgers of 4,283. It's comically good. Clan Wars, absolutely. This tends to be an anti-EBR, but the Leopard 1 is kind of encroaching on that role. Aside from that, if you need to hold a flank, pushing into DPM is rough. There is so much power here. If you put two of these, that's over 8,000 damage per minute. You're talking losing over, almost, or wait, no. Yeah, almost 800 HP within 10 seconds. It's brutally strong. I absolutely adore the STRV 103B. You don't even need to shoot premium. Premium gets you, 350 pen as opposed to 308? There's no real point. In randoms, you're not going to fire premium. It's mega camoed. The gun's amazing. You should definitely get it. It gets used in Clan Wars, absolutely, and it gets used in randoms for just missions and mega farm. I adore it. Okay, that makes up our set of tank destroyers I have. Let's go to a quick discussion of others. This is going to be relatively short because I don't personally own these, so I've not played them. But we'll look at the 268. The 268 is one of the oldest tanks in World of Tanks. 750 alpha, 303 base pen. With the heat, it's like 400 or something. It's very, very high, 390. This is the second highest pen in the game, I think. Reload is not awful. Base is 15 seconds. You can get that down to like low 13, I'm sure. 5 degrees of gun oppression. It's Russian, obviously. 2.59 aim time, 0.32 dispersion. Meh. Everything else about it's kind of bleh. The 48 kilometers an hour top speed's good, for sure. But the armor is not really there. The cupola is an easy pen. The cheeks, left and right, easy pen. Even the upper plate's an easy pen, depending on if you're shooting at it from the front. Lower plate's a joke. Used in Clan Wars, no. Used in randoms, yes, sometimes. But it can be fun. I wouldn't rush to get it. If you're going to get a Russian TD, get the V4. Next, we'll talk about the Foch B. The Foch B is sort of the discount Waffenträger Alfie 100, if you guys remember that from the old days. You have an autoloader with, 6 shots for a 36-second reload. On this completely stock for 400 alpha with 257 millimeters of base pen. That's trash. Straight garbage. The better Fosh B players, you'll see them firing APCR, and that's for good reason. It's not, APCR spammer. It's the base pen's so shit, so I'm using APCR premium to compensate. You have pretty okay DPM, 3.1k, but it's all about the clip potential. You can clip out the full HP of an IS-7 with a gun like this. Now, here's the caveat. The Cupola's massive. You'll rarely miss it, unless you're me. The upper plate armor is workable. You will bounce some stuff. The lower plate is an easy pen. Now, here's the caveat we're really interested in. On the sandbox, I think it's a sandbox. Correct me if I'm wrong. They are testing an increase in the alpha damage of this gun from 400 to I think possibly 490, if I remember right. But I know they're testing an HP increase on this. Do with that what you will. If that goes through, this will become more viable. It does not get used in Clan Wars from what I've seen. But in randoms, if you're firing premium, you can do particularly well. You can do well. It's just firing AP on anything that's not tier 8s, even on some tier 8s, it's going to be lackluster. It's not really going to save you. So as a whole, not bad. Worth considering. If the changes are looking to come through, this is a 100% pickup from me. Absolutely a 100% pickup from me. And now last, and probably least, actually. Unironically, probably the least. The WZ-113G FT. It's shit. It's shit. The armor here is an easy pen. It has a cupola, which is a pretty easy pen if you're up close fighting. Lower plate's massive. It's a trash tank. You have a pretty good reload comparable to the 268 and stuff, with insane pen as well. 290 on the base. This is another 750 alpha. You'll see a trend here. The DPM's not great. The aim time's not great. The dispersion's not great. It's a giant box with a gun. Like, it's not good. It's a giant box with a gun. Don't get it. No. You have good heat pen, sure. And the upper plate armor is good. This whole chunk here, down here, is good. But the rest of it is bad. It's holistically bad. Do not get this. There is no reason to get it. If you're a collector, fine. If you actually want a meta tier 10, please God, no. Don't do this. Do not do this. That said, though, the tier 8 premium TD is insane. I love it. It's one of my favorite tanks in the game. This tank as a whole is expensive as shit. 231,000 XP needed. And it's just not good. Don't get it. Clan Wars, not used. Randoms, it's one of the least played tanks in all of World of Tanks, in all tiers. Do not get it. It's just, please. Have I made it clear you shouldn't get this yet, by the way? I hope I have. All in all, we're going to wrap up the TD thing. This actually is the longest video, I think, which is kind of ridiculous. I need to learn to articulate myself a little bit more. As per usual, there's going to be a TLDR here. Alright, too long didn't watch. We'll take this down to about a minute. E3, good in Clan Wars. Does it get used? Yes. Good in randoms? Yes. I like it. E4, good in randoms? 100% for me. Clan Wars does get used. Grill doesn't get used in Clan Wars on any reliable level. Used in randoms? Yes, but it can be frustrating. Good for missions, though. The Yak Panzer 100, it's a meme. You have insane heat pen. It's the only reason you play it. Only reason I play it. Armor's not good. Used in randoms. Yes, I still play it. I'm close to 3-marking it. In Clan Wars, sometimes, but not on any reliable level to a point where you can say to a clan, on your application, I have a Yak Panzer. It just doesn't work. V4, insane. Still gets used in Clan Wars. Still gets used in randoms. It's stupid. Fighting tier 8s, it's unfair. Badger, infuriating. The gun, for me, just never works. It's very much the grill. The bloom on it's frustrating. Used in Clan Wars, almost never. I'm sure some clan somewhere uses it, but as far as meta, doesn't get used. Randoms, if there's no arty, there's nobody firing HE, and you can go hull down, it's great. If not, it's okay. 4K5, it's a meme, that's it. You have a big gun, not used in Clan Wars, can be fun sometimes in randoms. Other than that, nah. Sturv, insane tank. You are the sneakiest sniper, 66, almost 67% camo, mega fast reload, you're fast, you go 50 forward, 45 reverse. The tank's insane, gets used in Clan Wars, still in 2019. It's just good. Holistically good. 268, not good, not worth your time. Foch, not worth your time now, might be later. WZ, please don't get it. That'll make up the replays, boys. Or not the replays, Jesus. The Tank Destroyer review. We're gonna have some others coming up soon. I'm gonna go record them right now. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this is helpful. I'll cut this down real quick.